Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Fintech Fridays. Although this will be confusing for some of you because you're going to see this on a day that's not Friday. I'm Brian Vieaux, President, Chief Operating Officer of FinLocker, and I am stoked to have my good friend, longtime friend, Steve Richman, join us today. We might talk a little technology, but we really want to focus on mindset. Steve and I met in prior lives. I was with the wonderful Flagstar Bank, and Steve was at Genworth. And I brought Steve in a couple of times, I think more than a couple of times, to energize and talk to our sales team. And my takeaway, and this goes back almost a decade, in those sessions was all about mindset. And the market was different a decade ago than it is today. I would argue that mindset today is more important than it's ever been in every industry, but especially in this lovely housing finance industry. And we're going to just riff a little bit, Steve and I, and kind of talk about mindset. Steve goes around the country and talks to organizations and groups about all kinds of different topics. He brings a completely unique perspective that I think is real to the table. And we're gonna learn a little bit from Steve today. And my hope is that you all learn a little bit more and want to learn even more and reach out to Steve after this show and get him on your schedule. So with that, welcome, my friend.
Howdy, I'm going to change your name right now. You got to change mindset. Do you have the power? Can you control it? You've heard this in the past, I assume. But I was thinking about you this morning. And I said, you know what? He's Big Bad Brian Vieaux Daddy. That's your new name. All right. That's where Big Bad Brian Vieaux Daddy.
That's going on my TikTok.
Yeah, it should, and that way, and if you got the voodoo, we can do it so well. So that's what it is. But you mentioned already. I mean, jump into it. Let's riff. Let's talk.
Let's do it, man.
The 2008. I think what's going on in today's market is so different than what happened in 2008. And the big difference that I see it is in 2008, we mortgage people, we had no control. It was being done onto us. It was like, okay, I'm watching the implodometer. I don't know if I still have a job. Here, it's more of a waiting game. It's more of a how do I plant the seeds today? Look, people need houses. There's a lot of pent up demand that's going on out there right now. We're gonna be okay. We're not somebody who's, if you're fixing VCR tapes for a living, you might want to look for another job. If you're somebody who works at a photo mat, and by the way, I used to sell pictures when people would produce it at a grocery store in my previous life. I used to work the pharmacy counter. And people, back in those days, baby, you had to actually pay for the picture that you got developed that you didn't even want because you didn't know how it was going to come out.
Yeah.
That's all in the past. Today, people need mortgages. People need homes. They're always going to need somewhere to live. So to me, while things are a little rough right now, a little bumpy, well, first thing is you got to keep a positive attitude. Flat out. But how do you keep that positive attitude? It's just a waiting game right now. Those who weather the storm, they're going to come out of it really well. But I was asked, and I'm talking, Brian. You're just like sitting there nodding, light him up and watch him go. And
I love it, man.
And I've never had a cup of coffee a day in my life. I got asked to speak. It was like the Young Professionals Group of Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm sure there was a different name to it, but you get what I'm saying. And they were having a luncheon. And this was back in like the 2009 time. And that's what they asked me. They said, hey, we're all scared of losing our jobs. And what should we do? I said, the first thing is don't be scared of losing your job. You have to go out. If you're acting scared and you're going at it scared, you're going to be scared and it comes across to everybody else. And it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I said, the first thing you need to do is smile. The second thing you need to do is be positive. Because if someone is going to lose their job, someone else is making that decision and they're going to, who's more pleasant to work with? Who do I enjoy being around? If they're of equal skill, oh man, it's all falling apart. You want to work with Eeyore or you want to work with Pooh? You know what I'm saying?
Right
So
on.
I know you can feel it inside, and we all know that duck analogy. And I heard that the other day that a duck is, remains calm on the surface, and underneath the feet are going, and the feet are going, and the feet are going. But that's sort of where we are right now. But what will make you remain calm is to know this industry is not going anywhere.
Right.
I don't know Brian, you know this better than I do. What's going to happen with crypto? I don't know if that's going to become a thing, if it already is a thing, if it's not going to become a thing, if that's all going to go bankrupt. I don't know what's going to happen with crypto. Mortgages, we're going to be here in 2024. We're going to be here in 2025. So that's the first part of your mindset, is you got to believe that it's time. That's all it
Yeah.
is right now. It's just a time game.
You said, and picking up or carrying on that time theme, because you hit this a couple times. You just got to play the game. It's a long game. It's a waiting game. And the fascinating statistics around home buying. If you want to just peel one segment, the first time home buyer, guess what? Next year, someone's turning 30. The year after, someone's turning 30. The year after, someone's turning 30. There's always going to be a first-time home buyer, right? And to your point, this industry is not going away, but this is something that I talk about a lot. What you can control today as a mortgage professional, as a real estate finance professional, as a real estate professional who lists and sells real estate, what you can control is growing your database. And how do you grow your database? You go talk to people.
Planting seeds, baby.
You don't hide, and you don't hide and say, woe is me. You get out in front and you talk to people.
Okay. You just open up a whole can. So remember that I'm writing it down. Talk to people. Yeah, I don't want to forget.
Groundbreaking, right?
I'm old school, man. I do that. I know you're fintech. I'm pen.
By the way, let's give a little plug. Who's the logo on the pen?
The logo on the pen is a nonprofit that my wife works with for a library.
Love it. That's so cool.
The PJ Library, and it supplies books to those who don't have access to a library immediately right there.
I love it.
That's what that's for. It's nothing mortgage related.
That's all right. It's life. That's life related, man.
So let's throw a stat out there for you, because first time home buyers. Here's my whole take on first time home buyers. And people, stop singing the blues. Let me tell you something. According to National Association of Realtors profile of home buyers and sellers that comes out in the first week of November, came out for 2022. We don't have 2023's numbers yet, but for 2022. It dropped, the percentage of first-time home buyers dropped down to 26%. Oh my God, there's no first-time home buyers. Au contraire, mon frere. There are a whole lot of first-time home buyers. They just don't have the opportunity. You got pent-up demand. They don't have the opportunity yet. And the average age of a first-time home buyer jumped from 33 to 36. Oh, they got to get older. That's just the market we're in. What's going to end up happening is those floodgates are going to, and all those people are going to want to purchase homes. Now, you said plant seeds and go to real estate agents and talk to them and get in front of them. Of course, when you get in front of them, you have to be positive.
Right.
And they look at you, and this is what I was writing down. When they look at you and they go, because number one question asked every day in the United States of America is what?
What are rates going to do?
No, that's in the mortgage world. In America, it's how are you?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm a mortgage guy. My first reaction is all about rates.
Right, but the first question is always going to be, how are you? Same stuff, different day. I could complain, but who'd listen? Hey, I want to have a relationship with you, and hopefully we can do a mortgage together, dude. No, you got to come out there and you're starting a relationship. They say, how are you? Let me tell you, I'm awesome. And I'm so happy to be here talking to you, because we're going to figure out how to make things better together. You need a good answer to that question.
Yeah.
But back to what we were saying before. See, we all turn it around. The ADD's kicked in, Brian. All right. That's where we are. These first-time home buyers, you said, oh, go out and talk to real estate agents today, and you should, but go out and talk to builders today.
Yeah.
Got to start talking to home builders. Actually, a report came out yesterday that we're watching more and more home builders getting in right now. Why? This sounds depressing to some people, but it's the game that we need to play. In this house, this beautiful house that I'm in, I have a 2.75 rate. You know what that means? When I
You ain't
leave,
going anywhere.
I'm going to be horizontal and my feet are going to be up. My toes going to be pointing up because they're reeling me out of this place. I'm never getting out of this house, right? So there's a lot of people in that type of a situation. I think what we're going to see is that people are going to, because right now builders, based upon margins, based upon regulations and rules, they're having trouble finding the property. And so when they get there, they're doing what? They're building those 800 million,
Yeah.
1.2 homes. First-time home buyers, you're going to watch that in the next 2 years start to grow. It has to, because where are these people going to go?
Yep, I agree. I think couple things, and I want to go back to the 2022 stats that you cited. Just that single change in 1 year, incrementally increased the pool of the next 3 years first-time home buyers. And I already said this once, I'm going to say it again. Every year, somebody's turning 33, if we want to call that the median age. So that pool just keeps stacking up.
Wait,
So
I'm
I
going to
think
hit that poll. It changes the number, but it doesn't change the desire, because
that's right.
88% of people in that same exact survey said owning a home is still a good financial decision. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And
Continue. Sorry.
the other stat that's been, going around here in the last, few months talks about a homeowner has, 40x the personal wealth, the family wealth of a renter, right? So all those things are true and they all compound. I would add, talk to realtors, talk to builders, other referral sources. But what about just talking to people? What about building your sphere, building your audience, and talking to the 28-year-old that maybe is 5 years away and start to educate and build trust and build a relationship? I mean, that's where I'm talking about, is how do you get up the funnel and start building relationships with next year's and the year after's buyers?
Well, watch this. Watch this, my man, because I've never said this before. You just sparked this in my brain. So number one, go talk to people, because you never know what's going to spark a conversation, what's going to spark something positive in your brain. Yes, go talk to people. I got a nephew. He's 28 years old. If he turned 29, don't get mad at me. But actually, I think he's 29 now. Whatever. He's a financial planner. He's calling me and he's saying to me, which of your friends can I talk to so I can do financial planning for them? Because he's like, I don't want to go to young people. They don't have any money right now. So I want to go to all of Uncle Steve's friends and
Yeah.
become their financial planner. Folks, if I'm a loan officer right now, I'm my age. I mean, you got hair, Brian. I don't, but you look good. This is what you get with me. I'm talking to my friends saying, hey, can you get me in touch with your kids?
Yeah.
How do I get on TikTok to get after the kids? Because the one thing that I do find that kids, and I'm talking in their 20s, they're not really kids, let's be honest. But my son still looks at me for financial and life advice. He doesn't get that information by going to a YouTube channel or going onto an Instagram and saying, oh, maybe it's time for me. He looks at me and says, hey, Dad, I'm thinking about buying a house. How much of a house do you think I should get? What's an affordable payment? How does that all work? So right now, why, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, which the average age of the loan officer is right in there, baby, I wouldn't be spending all my time saying, hey, how do I get on YouTube and get in front of these people? I'd be going after the people that I've already know and have relationships with and say, can I talk to your kids? Can
I
I
love
talk
that.
to your sons, your daughters? Boom. That's a wonderful thing, because they're asking to talk to me to
Right.
get financial planning. Why aren't I talking to them to help get them in a house?
I love that. Everybody that's been in this industry has a database of past clients, a database of current prospects, and every one of those people has people in their lives. And it's just we go back to what we kicked this thing off. It's talking to people and not selling. You're not selling somebody that maybe 2, 3, 4 years away. You're helping, you're teaching, you're educating, you're giving them insights, you're sharing your expertise, you're sharing your knowledge. So speaking of expertise and knowledge, I've been watching, kind of following you around on your LinkedIn journeys here for the first part of the year, and you've been kind of here. It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Steve? Where's Steve today? So you've been going around speaking to groups. What's the topic du jour? I know it's mindset, but what are you leading with right now? What should people be paying attention to as it relates to your topic, your message?
I'm going to help you grow your business. I'm going to help you get a good mindset. I'm so tired. I read it in an article yesterday. It says knowledge is power. I'm like, no, it's not. Knowledge is not power. And this goes back to you fintech people and CRM people and stuff. I set it and forget it. No, you have to continue to follow up with your database. You work your database. The CRM, that's just a tool for you to leverage and to use. You still have to take the action. Simply having the knowledge is not enough. Knowledge is not, power is derived from how you use your knowledge. Power is derived from how you use your knowledge. And that's my big thing that I'm saying. So what I say, IMMA. Information. You need information, but then you got to get the right mindset about that information. You got to message out that information, and you have to take action. IMMA. Take action based upon that information, because we are all watching every YouTube video. We're watching this wonderful, oh, look, Brian and Steve are talking. This is fantastic. It ain't fantastic if you just listen to it and you don't change your mindset. You don't think about what you need to say about it, and you don't take an action based upon what we're talking about. Go talk to a real estate agent. Go talk to a builder. Go talk to a younger person. Be positive. Know how to answer, how are you? Take those actions, get them set up, because I'm telling you, the floodgates, I can't tell you when. I wish I could tell you when. But people need homes. They need mortgages. We're gonna be okay.
Love that. I love IMA. I've been following the IMA concept. It intuitively for me, it's always something I've done, but the way you crystallize it in your talks just kind of reinforces, what we should all be doing to grow our business, whatever our business is, and it's people, right? We're all in the people business at the end of the day.
We are, but that goes back to something else. And I think we're getting a little long on time, but I really don't care. I'm enjoying the conversation. You can cut me off. But this is what I used to talk about, right? We say, oh, it's all about relationship. Hold on a second. Don't you discount the transaction. Because they came to you and they asked, what's your rate? They didn't say, what's your view on relationships, right? I mean, they're looking to get something from you. So what we need to do is figure out, you make the transaction go so well that they want to continue the relationship with you. So we turn that transaction into a relationship. That's what I call a translationship. Trademark pending, Mr. Brian. Don't you steal that one. I'll give you IMA, but I got translationship. I'm talking about that too.
You've been talking about that for a long time,
yes,
Steve, and it still resonates today. It makes all the sense in the world, but it's those little nuggets that people just need to get, and then they need to get the mindset, and then message it, and then put it into action, right? I love IMA. I love translationships.
And here's my last one, and then we'll call it quits on the day. All right. I want you to be a little, and I know this might not be politically correct, but I want you to be a little dyslexic. I'm not saying it's okay to be dyslexic. So I want you to look at the word education and switch that C and A and make it edu-action.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's just that little change right there. And all of a sudden, wow, I'm getting educated on this. Now what's the action you're going to take? Education to edu-action.
I love it, man. That is awesome. Nuggets. So let's put a bow on this thing, because you already hit the ADD button. It's none of us has the attention span beyond 20 or so minutes, but how do people get in touch with you if they want to have you come talk to their group, their organization, or help them think about kind of mindset and putting all these great ideas into action? What's the best way to get you?
SteveRichman.com. Now, Steve, Steve, Richman. We all need a goal. It's Richman. I'm not from Virginia. There's no D involved. It's SteveRichman.com.
That is awesome. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this. This is going to be a special edition podcast. It's going to drop not on a Friday, as I said earlier. It's going to confuse people, I know. Don't think when you see this on Tuesday or Wednesday that it's Friday and you're going to slack the next couple of days. This is a little midweek juice for everybody to kind of get pumped up. It's going to be get your May started off, with some actionable takeaways. So, Steve, I really appreciate you jumping on and sharing your insights. Looking forward to seeing you on the next circuit, and we'll probably do this again sometime. It's a lot of fun.
I appreciate Big Bad Brian Vieaux, Daddy. I appreciate it.
There we go. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Now, remember, it's not Friday yet. This coming up Friday, there'll be another episode of FinTech Fridays, and we'll see you back here then. Thank you.
Cheers.